final submission that we have done since 2014. At this point, Principal Aaron Slack, who oversees part of the technology program, will begin with some comments, and then he has a brief slide presentation explaining it, and then we'll go over next steps. So, Dr. Slack, thank you.
Okay, thanks, Jason. I'm going to share a few slides. The Smart Schools investment planning process began in earnest for our district after the passing of the original voter referendum in New York State in 2014. Lyndonville received an allocation of $735,000. We had two major investment plans, including the first focus, and I can talk to you a little bit about the requirements of the planning process relative to what the state's evaluation, assessment, and approval of plans looks like. They build this very foundationally because they do request assurances from districts that they have the network infrastructure that's robust enough to support potentially one-to-one device initiatives, et cetera. So that was our starting point. When talking with Jason Wilhelm, Rick Klepser, our BOCES technology IT people identified the need to build that network structure so that it was more robust, so that you could theoretically support multiple devices, one-to-one devices, all 600, let's say, or more students simultaneously hitting that network, potentially engaging in things like we are Google Meets or other applications. And so that was the first investment plan, which later approved, implemented, and we created that network. And it is a state-of-the-art high-speed wireless network. I worked with the technology folks in terms of the numbers that describe upload and download speeds, et cetera, but they are very robust. The state actually tended to couple this with the computer-based testing initiative, which really encountered some issues along the way, but one of their primary goals was to make sure schools were ready for that along the way. We had the long-term vision. During this process, we adopted Google as a district and the Google apps, including Google Classroom, obviously Gmail, and aspired to build better access to devices. Ultimately, a one-to-one ratio was our goal, which a subsequent investment plan achieved. That was our latest investment plan, a $90,000 Chromebook initiative. The state has a lengthy wait list for review and approval of these. So when you go through the submission process, which includes the public forum that we're engaged in now, subsequent input processes with other stakeholder groups, including parents and students, teachers, of course, you submit your plan and you wait. But we've exhausted the majority or the most of the funds in our allocation. So we have $25,000 left, and that's what brings us here tonight. Our final investment plan to address that $25,000. So our proposal is to get money toward additional Chromebooks to create a replacement cycle. We're learning much about this since the pandemic and remote learning. Those devices are not intended to last forever. They're fairly durable, but we realize that all technology is essentially starting to become obsolete the minute you unbox it. So we needed to create a replacement cycle, and that's what we're proposing. And we know that these Chromebooks are now essential to both in-person and remote learning, and they're very compatible. They're intended to work with the Google-based Google apps. We have really built the capacity, I think, of teachers and students on how to use them efficiently. We implemented that eighth grade course half year for helping our students get really good at effectively, safely, and efficiently using them. We're now offering an optional insurance protection plan to families. I think for $27 a year, almost full protection for loss, damage, vandalism, etc. The device at replacement cost is approximately $270. But we've already encountered in trying to order replacement the fact that the supply chain is causing some real scarcity. Every district is vying because of the number of districts on remote learning in the pandemic to secure these devices. So we're in competition. So it pays to be as aggressive as possible in our timeline. So just in terms of the process currently, we proposed and requested the board to approve the first draft of phase 4, which they did in November 2020. The public outreach phase is in progress, beginning with tonight's public hearing. There are links on this presentation to the full text investment plans, and our goal is to have in February 21 final board approval to allow us to submit our plan to SED for review.
Okay, thank you, Aaron. That's the overview of the plan. Again, the point of this presentation is to gain feedback. The second link that Aaron is showing, the first link that Aaron is showing there, yep, okay, that one there. Aaron, if you could just pop that open for us. Is it loading there? Anyway, well, that link that I think Aaron's trying to load, that takes you to the posting on the website. Today, we have not received any public comments, but this will be shared out again on the website. And at this point, this will conclude the presentation, but we are, of course, happy to take questions or comments from the public who is here, which is our school board members. So I will open it up for questions. I think what I'll do it to make it easier to manage is kind of go around the horn. But before I do that, Joe, anything else you want to add to that from your side of things?
No, I'm all set. That was well done. Thank you.
Let me begin with our president, Ted Lewis. Any questions or comments? Shaking his head no. Okay. Jared Thurber? No, you good? Okay. Kristen Nicholson?
No.
Okay. And Harold?
Yeah, at this point, how many have we got broken? I know of one that's been broken, and I was just wondering how many, other than the one that I know of that was broken, how quickly are these devices being beat up?
I'll give you some subjective comments. I don't see if Aaron can think fast enough on his feet to come up with a rough number. I'm going to estimate maybe about like one a week or so. We do get them fixed as fast as we can. We are running short. Bob Santella has done a great job staying on top of that. Aaron mentioned that we do have an insurance plan that our families have bought, and I think Aaron wants to say something. Go ahead, Aaron.
Sure, Harold, at least between 10 and 20. Some of those are in repair. Some of them, our IT guys have been able to do a wonderful job with kind of piecing them together, spare parts, coupling them. And some of them are beyond repair and need replacement. One thing we learned in the first phase is we allocated money to a particular cover for the device. It's similar to like a smartphone cover. We're somewhat disappointed with that. For the cost of it, it was between $30 and $50, I think, and it looked like a very sturdy cover, and it's not protecting screens. So we've seen this. The screen is the most expensive part. It's a $270 device, and that's $150 to replace. And the screens are obviously they're touch screens, and when those break, obviously there's no fixing. There's only replacing.
Okay, thank you, Aaron. Harold, anything else?
I was just wondering, at $27 a piece, what do we got? About six? We got 600 of them yet?
This would get us to 600 plus or more. Yeah.
Is there a way that we could cover the insurance, or is there a bulk insurance that we could take to offset so we're not demanding it? Because it's going to be kind of like an excise tax. It's going to be harder on some families than others. And the ones who won't get taken are probably the ones that get the most.
Harold, I could speak to that. Well, at least our conversations with Jason and Joe. And the vendor who sells the insurance recommends that the district do just that, is pick up the premiums. What we're doing, we extended the window. We had given a end of November, December 1st deadline. We're extending that to January 1st. And I notified families of that to give them more time to consider it. And then we were going to assess from there how many did not buy. It was not a large number as of November, which is one of the reasons we extended it. So that's the advice from the vendor, of course, who's selling the policy. But we're also trying to assess, as you just asked, like how many of these and what's the rate at which they're breaking. I think for the most part, the kids have been doing a good job taking care of them, but we're going to find a new option for cover or case the next time around.
Joe, anything to add to that? You've been working on the insurance policy too.
Yeah, there's been to date 41 people that purchased the insurance policy, so it really isn't very significant relative to the numbers that are out there. But the first go around was at the high school, junior high, high school level. So that number would be, what is it, Aaron? About 300, give or take, would be the base.
So
Yeah, against a base of 41 that ended up taking it. So that's why we extended it. Other than that, it was very reasonable in cost. We negotiated a good deal. It would be a full replacement of the machine. So.
And Melissa is in the process. We just gave her the authorization. She's in the process of sharing that out with her families as well. So that is happening as we speak. There is information on the website on that, but we probably can do another push for it again. It is a nominal fee, but Harold, you're right. Certainly we have families that would struggle with that, and we recognize that we take that into account. So we can do another push for it.
Already at this time, how many do you feel? You said there was 10 to 20 that have been had different variables of breakage.
Yeah. Yes, that's right.
And what are we doing with those? Though we had an extension till January on this.
Yes, so we're getting those fixed as much as we can. In some cases, we're eating the cost. In some cases, we're attempting to have the family submit some type of what do you call it? Not reimbursement, some type of like remittance for it. So we are making a good faith effort to try to have the money turned in. We're not going to go to any type of like major action to get the money back, but we are going to make a good faith effort to have families pay if possible. If not, as we have in the past, we will continue to work with them. So as of right now, Bob Santella really is the expert on this. He's been fixing a lot of them. He's been giving us, I have a report back to the office showing what the status is. So it's about, so in some cases we're eating the cost. In some cases we're recognizing things happen and working with families as much as we can. So good questions, Harold.
And the other question is, are we going to see an uptick in this when they go home like they did last time? More breakage when they're at the home than when they're at school?
Honestly,
yeah.
From based on last spring, when we did that very rapid deployment, we closed March 13th, and we saw less damage reported from that date until the kids came back in September, because they were not moving the devices back and forth between school. I think the problems are happening when a kid has a sports practice after school. It's in a backpack, it's outside, or they don't. Theft has not been the issue, nor really even is lost. A stolen Chromebook is no good to anyone else but the user. So that's to our advantage. It's been more the breakage, but it was worse in September. It got a little better in October. I dare say it's been a little better in November. We have emphasized it with the kids, and hopefully they're gaining an appreciation, because we've let them know pointedly that the replacements are not necessarily readily available. So take care of what you got.
And what age group would you say is the worst offenders of destruction?
I don't know if there's a pattern to that, Aaron. I'm trying to get a copy of the report in my head. It's been all over the place. I dealt with a middle school student who honestly had he had a mistake, and we, he made an honest mistake. I forget the details of it, but he made an honest mistake. So we handle that. It's been all over the place. I don't know if there's a pattern there or not. Aaron, do you think?
Yeah, a little bit more by 7th through 9th grade, probably higher frequency.
All right. Well, I think we did a great job getting these out. I mean, we pushed and pushed to get this one-on-one going, and we were lucky it fell almost a week before he shut down the whole country, and we've done a great job with it.
Yeah, thank you. So this will be the final batch. This will be the final batch of money that was approved by the voters of New York State back in November of 2014. This is our 4th or 5th submission. I've lost track, but it's at least number 4. And this would then deplete the funds. From there, as Aaron said, it's a waiting period. Once we get the board to approve it in February, we will then submit it like the next day, and then we wait. And it could be 6 to 8 months. It could be a month. The process is not really fast. And then once we have that, we then seek reimbursement that Joe and his staff handle. So overall, it's been a good process. My only comment would be very slow. One, there's a lot of boxes that we have to check, like we're doing now, and we do want the authentic feedback from our stakeholders. But then, 2, it does take time to get the approval from New York State once we hit the final button. So that being said, I will conclude this public hearing. Aaron, if you could just stop recording, and then we're done.
Yeah, very good. And I will share that recorded file with you. Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. So this will be posted on the website shortly. I'll see you at 7 o'clock again. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.